Hello readers and writers, I'm MJ and today it's time for a YA vlog. First of all, I just washed my hair and I didn't put stuff in it because I have to re-dye it, so it's all over the place, so I'm sorry. But I am reading, at least the plan, is that I'm going to be reading 2 YA books for this vlog. The first is Horrid, and it is a YA horror book. And then the second is, I forgot the title, but it is an ebook I have that is an indie book that is a YA thriller that just released. I think it's kind of thriller horror, but I think this is perfect. We're 2 weeks out before Halloween, so it's definitely the right vibe for this kind of reading. But specifically, I think, I know I'm pretty adamant that I don't read YA, and for the most part, I don't. I read it for several years, pretty hardcore, and just kind of got bored with it, and that's just a me thing. But when it comes to like horror aspect of it, I tend to go more into the YA genre because I am such a wuss. I cannot handle scary, like, at all. And even YA scary might just be too much for me. The 2 books I have planned for right now, I don't think are going to be too scary. I think they're going to be more like thought-provoking, which sometimes can be worse. But we will see. So Horrid is a book that I have had on my shelves for a while. I got it back in a book box that I no longer support, and I was going to, like, I read it on a read a first chapter challenge and was actually really intrigued by it and wanted to keep it. But I knew I wanted to have it for October. So I don't know a lot about the book. What I do know is that I think their father just passed away and they moved back to the mom's childhood home, and there's something mysterious happening with this home, and then the main character, who is a teenager, is going to try and figure out what it is. But, oh, and the main character eats books, which is definitely a little like OCD anxiety. And that's not really a spoiler because that's really how the book opens, and so that's what I've read in the first chapter, so it's really all I know about it. So I'm going to get started on this and I will check in with you all shortly. So it is Saturday morning. I wanted to come in and do an update on what I've done so far and my plans for the rest of today. So I started this morning by waking up earlier than I normally would on the weekend. It was my great uncle's funeral. He lived to be 91 years old. He had a great life. He was a great person. His wife, my Aunt Ruth, is actually one of the people I dedicated my first book to because she had such an impactful, because she was so impactful on my life, in general. Growing up as a kid in a family that was not exactly stable, with parents that don't actually like me, it was those relationships I had that were positive were all that more impactful. And while typically you don't have a close relationship with your great aunt and uncle, I think we went and visited them probably more than most other families do. I don't know. And definitely when I was younger, we would write letters back and forth. Even now, me and my great aunt send emails. It I don't know, I really appreciate this whole concept of being like virtual, being able to attend a funeral virtual. Honestly, I would have flown out there, even though it's on the other side of the country, except I was very concerned about running into the part of my family that I am estranged from by my choice because of reasons. But they weren't there, so I guess it would have been a moot point. But I'm glad I got to at least attend virtually. Such a weird thing that COVID has changed, and that has stayed around, and weird is not a bad term. I think in this instance especially it is a positive term, but yeah, my great uncle lived to be 91. He was on hospice, so his passing was known, but I don't know. I just, send my thoughts to his family, because I'm sure that will be a really big hole in their hearts. But yeah, now for the rest of my Saturday, I am still reading Horrid. I got to 80 pages before I put the book down yesterday, and planned to read some more this morning before we go out and do errands. We need to go grocery shopping and do some of that stuff. I don't know what I'm thinking about Horrid. It's fine. I'm not instantly falling in love with it, but I am intrigued to see what's going on. It's definitely a slow-paced book, and like a lot of the relationships are being glossed over. Like the main character had their first day of school, and it was just like kind of an afterthought. Like the only point of it was to say the nickname of this house, so that was kind of weird. And then there was this other point where the town they moved to is really small and only has a tiny grocery store that they call co-op, but they went out for Thai food. I mean, that is an impressive small town that has a tiny grocery store but has a Thai restaurant. And then not just a Thai restaurant, because now there's this other restaurant. Anyways, I don't know. I mean, yeah, Thai in Los Angeles without thinking, but Thai in a small town in Maine? I mean, maybe, I guess, but it just seemed weird. I mean, how many fast food restaurants are in a small town that only has like a co-op grocery store? So I'm not really feeling it, but the mystery aspect's there, so I want to continue to see what's going on with the book. So I'm going to go ahead and read now, and I will check in later. One other thing about Horrid, before I forget, the main character is a teenager, 17 years old, last year senior high school, and calls her parents by their first name. Now, her father has passed recently, which is kind of what, prompted this move. But, the mother's there, and the main character does not call them mother or father. She calls them by their first name. And I think that's weird, because there's no reason given why they do that, and no, like, I don't know, that's just weird, right? Like, it's not like a normal, like, thing that for someone who has a close relationship to call their parents by their first name, like verbally and internal monologue as well, to just naturally think of them like that. I don't know. What do you think? Is that normal? Is that what you do for your parents? Or do you think that that's as weird as I do? Let me know down in the comments. I made it to 100 pages of Horrid, and I'm calling it. I'm DNFing. There's just too many plot inconsistencies for me. The mother just came back from her first day of her new job, where she's working on bookkeeping and accounting. This from a person who didn't even do her own, like, bookkeeping at her house. The husband handled it, putting them in financial difficulty, and so apparently, like, she hadn't even balanced their own family checkbook, and yet she's now doing accounting for a company. And I just can't anymore. The writing is not great. And the allure of what the heck is going on is not built up enough for me to want to stick with it. So I am DNFing Horrid at 100 pages, which is about a third of the way through the novel. But I just can't. So I'm going to switch over to my second read. But before, you want to come say hi? Let's see. Fly wants to say hi. Hello? Hello? You want to say hi? Yes, this is the cat that always hates when I talk to the camera. Huh. Yes. Yes. So I'm going to be moving on to my second book, which is also YA. This is a mystery. It's called Lucky Penny, and it's written by Eleanor Batsbury. Here is the cover. I have it on ebook. It is a brand new release that just came out. And if you are interested in it at all, I would highly recommend you go and support this author. She is an amazing human being. So I'm really excited to actually read this. I've read some of her writing before because we're in a writing group together, and I know she's fantastic, so I'm excited to actually read through her entire novel. So yeah, I'm switching. So I'm probably going to read for a little bit before I go do errands, so I will probably check in before I do that. I am 20% or 54 pages into Lucky Penny, and oh my gosh, so much better. The writing is great. I'm invested in the storyline. There is a lot of really good character development, even for the side characters. They're very real. It's just so much better put together than Horrid. So anytime like this whole indie versus traditional publishing question comes about, it just comes down to that individual books and not necessarily the publishing method, because not every traditionally published book gets the support it needs to be good, or starts out good, and not every traditional publishing book sucks. In fact, a lot of us have to put so much more time and effort into making sure they're good, and indie authors are good authors, or as varied as traditional publishing authors. We just choose to indie publish for various reasons. But yeah, I'm really enjoying Lucky Penny. I definitely will go with thriller, not horror. One trigger warning, there is a reference to a book series that author is extremely transphobic, but which is a bit disappointing, but it's just one reference, and then moves on. But yeah, I'm really invested, and I'm really interested in seeing what's going to happen with the story, and like the concern that's coming out and happening in the story. Like, as a parent, like, I'm all there, like, I'm very concerned. Um, I'm, it seems very appropriate for YA also, very hitting, but I'm just way too old to do a review from a YA perspective. But yeah, I'm going to pause for now because I'm going to go run some errands, and then I'm going to read some more. Although, probably before that, I picked up a video game that I had started, but I'm continuing with now, Harvestella, and I think that's right. It's basically a farming RPG game, which is awesome, but to make it even better, you can choose to play as a non-binary character when you choose your gender, and so then they use they them pronouns, and so being able to go through a video game where they use like my correct pronouns is so refreshing. Normally, like, I just sit and switch them in my head, which gets really frustrating to have to continually do that. And so I swear I'm playing any game that has non-binary representation in it, like any game. So if you know of any more, in the comments, please. But yeah, Harvestella, really liking it, and I plan on playing some more of that this weekend as well. This is Scrunkly Alien. Boy.
It has no butt.
There's a tail though.
Yeah, but no butt. This is... Wait. I was gonna name it Rambo, so it's not after a YouTuber. This is Rambo, not Rambo.
Rambo, the witch hat, black cat.
It's very long. It also has no butt.
It is Sunday afternoon. Actually, I probably should have updated you before now, but I did not. Yesterday, I bought my very own Squishmallow. Even more significant because it is the only second stuffed animal I bought. I bought me a Peep back at Easter. I don't know what this means about me, honestly, but they're so soft, and it is a very green goblin with pumpkin spice, and there we go. I went for it. And no, I'm not naming it whatever my kid wanted me to name it, because I don't even remember what it is anymore. So it is going to be called Spice. Isn't it adorable though? See? Alright. I've read, and I have created reels for TikTok and Instagram. Well, created reels for Instagram and some videos for TikTok. Oh, hello, big news. Hold on. I can't believe I haven't showed you this yet. Guess what came in? Our NeurodiVeRce. They weren't supposed to come in until today, but they came in yesterday. This is why I did not update you yesterday, because I spent the afternoon redoing the cover for the paper version. I had to make some adjustments. Because you can see that the lettering's kind of cutting off, so I hadn't centered it right. So I needed to work on that to make sure it's better. I have another art coming to make sure that it looks right. I am still looking for ARC readers. If you're interested, there is a link down below. Ebook ARC readers. I will be having an audiobook ARC available later. It'll probably release after the paper and the ebook version, but not too much after. So if you're interested in that, you can sign down below also. But if you are autistic and or non-binary and want a paper ARC, I have a very limited selection of them, and I am limiting sending them out to own voice readers, so autistic, trans, non-binary readers in the US because of shipping. I have to be really careful about costs because life is changing and I just can't splurge, and unfortunately I just don't make enough writing yet to do big elaborate. But yeah, if you want, if you are autistic and or trans, or non-binary, and want a paper ARC and you live in the US, the sign-in sheet is down below. Also, it's the same one, but I still have a couple left for that. But I am prioritizing sending them to own voice readers because they are expensive, and I want to get this story out to trans, non-binary, autistic individuals because honestly, it's kind of who I wrote it for. So I wrote it for other people, but specifically for us, you know. Yeah, so I'm very excited. I love it, even though it's not like even though I had to fix some things, I'm really happy with how it looks. This is the first cover that I have designed. I'm gonna have to get used to it and get some more skills. My first two covers were designed by my kid, and they, you know, are an adult now and moving on with their own artistic pursuits, and they don't even like books, so they gave me some impact on this one, especially when I was floundering, but overall I did it and I'm very proud with how it turned out, and I gotta get better at it because I have so many other books left to design, because I'm not done writing. Although, you know, maybe someone will discover me and I will get TikTok famous, or a contracting deal that actually pays money, because, you know, I'm not opposed to that. I just, you know, and then I can like actually hire a cover designer, which they're so important, but I'm so broke, so there we go. All right, moving on. Oh yeah, so yesterday we went grocery shopping and hence the broke, but I'm going to be making chili today for this week, so I'm very excited about that. I like pretending that it's fall, even though I live in Southern California and it does not feel like it is fall. I mean, we had to go into the mountains just to feel a little bit of chill, so not that I'm complaining because our winter was so rainy last year. I hope we're not repeating that. I would definitely take the 90-80 degree days over all of the rain because we're just not meant to be that moist. But yeah, so I like pretending that it's fall, and so I'm going to be making chili for the week. And on to the actual book. I have made it to chapter 10, which is 46% of the way through the book. So I'm not quite halfway there, but pretty close. 120 pages so far. I do plan on finishing this today. I do still have to get some YouTube done. Not filming, but editing and planning out shorts, because I've got to do better for that, honestly. And I also need to make chili. Oh, and do my hair. I still haven't cut it or re-dyed it, and if you look, I'm so white. I don't like it. I was looking at early YouTube videos, like when I first started my channel, and I was like trying to go natural, and looking back at it, I can't do that again. No matter how short my hair is, I can't handle the white hair. I just feel so old, and I'm just in my early 40s. I'm not ready for that yet, you know? Started going gray when I was 20. So, Yeah. You're not gray and white. Anyways, I don't know. I'm talkative. I think I'm just excited. Oh, I haven't showed you the inside of my book. Alright, look, this is also why I'm excited. I formatted the chapters. So they have this cool little style to it. This is the first book that I have formatted using vellum, which I should have done way before, but I did not. But this one is definitely the most fantastic of my books. I'm very proud of the formatting I did on my first two books. I did it by hand, I did it in Word. There's nothing wrong with them. I don't know, I really am excited about this one. There are text messages in the book, and with vellum I was able to actually like appropriately format that, and it was a lot of work, but I'm really proud of it, and I'm so excited for y'all to get to read it. I love all my books. In between, is definitely my debut novel, and you can tell. The Immortal Part of Myself is a huge part of my heart, but I think NeurodiVeRce is just, I don't know, just reading back through it for me, like when I was doing edits, like I was getting choked up because it just was hitting too close to home with what we're facing, and then the feedbacks of the people that related to it, either who are trans or who are autistic, that they were like, yeah, like I get this. And I don't think people who are not trans or autistic are going to quite appreciate all of this exists, because I've received that feedback as well. But it does. I also wrote this because I want, it's like hope, you know? Like I still believe that as a society we can do better. Alright, and on that note, I am going to go back and read for a bit before I start working on the rest of my to-do list. I will probably check in when maybe 25% more, or when I finish the book, depending on how it's going. Oh, but how is the book going? I'm really enjoying it. It's very well written. The characters are very dynamic. I'm very captured. It's set in a small town, written from, you know, a teenager's point of view. The point of view is not only very realistic from a teenager perspective, but not annoying. Which I think sometimes teenagers' point of views can get very annoying as an adult. That's not to discount them, because, again, YA books are not written for adults. But I am an adult, and as an adult, it's a very not annoying perspective, while still being believably 17. I'm very invested in the story about what's going on, what's going to happen, and all the inner conflict of the main character. I have no idea what's going to happen. I only have one suspicion at the moment, and I don't know if it's completely off base or not. So we will see. So I'm going to keep reading and get back to you. While the muffins were cooking, I finished Lucky Penny. Honestly, I didn't expect to finish it this early. I was still, you know, I was gonna take breaks to do my hair, make some chili, all this, but I just was hooked and couldn't put it down. So I only ended up making muffins. But yeah, it was like the last half of the book. I only took like one small break to mix the muffins, and I went right back to reading. I just didn't want to put it down. I was hooked to it. It was so much going on, and I can't like say anything about it because I don't want to accidentally like spoil it at all. But it was very well written. If you like thriller at all, then I highly recommend that you check it out. It's not graphic or any way, making it very ideal for young adults beyond just the main character being, 17. It definitely is one that is going to stick with me. And when the sequel, because yes, this is part of the series, and when the sequel does get released, I will be waiting to pick it up. If you like thriller at all, whether adult or YA, I highly recommend you go pick this book up. It's called Lucky Penny, and it's just so well written, so great. It just released. This book needs all the buzz. So if you like indie writers, well, even if you don't, if you like thriller and mystery, go pick it up. But if you don't and you still want to support a very well written indie book, then please give it a shot. The writing itself is well written, the characters are extremely well developed, and the plot is fantastic. Like, writing a mystery is so tough. And I really liked how this was presented, how it played out, and how it built for the next book in this series, because I don't think I've really ever seen that before in a mystery thriller. Definitely one of the best books I've read all this year. I expected to like it, absolutely. I did not expect it to be one of my top books of the year, I'm not gonna lie. But it absolutely is. So yeah, definitely go check it out. So I'm going to go and make me some chili and maybe try one of the muffins I made, and I will see you in the next vlog. And as always, keep reading, keep writing, and until next time.